Welcome to episode 49 of The 5-Minute Investor, the podcast where we break down stocks at the heart of two stories shaping your investing week. I'm Jonathan Brown.
And I'm Ricky Lee, standing in for Trevor Abbas. Each week, we bring one stock, one headline, and one reason investors should care.
The current surge in AI infrastructure and electric vehicle adoption is driving explosive demand for quite a few rare earth elements.
Two minerals that have been crucial to their development are gallium and neodymium.
On the neodymium side, what stock has caught your attention?
Well, I've been watching MP Materials Corp, M-P, on the New York Stock Exchange.
And what's the story with them?
Well, MP Materials operates the Mountain Pass mine in California, and that's significant because it's the only rare earth mining operation of its scale in the Western Hemisphere. Mountain Pass contains one of the richest rare earth deposits in the world, and importantly, MP produces a type of neodymium called NdPr, which is essential for the permanent magnets used in EV motors, wind turbines, robotics, and increasingly AI data center infrastructure. But China currently dominates roughly 70% of global rare earth mining and about 90% of refining capacity. So any Western producer with scale automatically becomes strategically important. And MP has also secured a price protection agreement with the US government, which essentially provides a floor price for NdPr. That gives it some downside protection if prices weaken. And right now, prices are actually trading above that floor.
Speaking of prices, how has the stock performed?
Well, it's been volatile, John, like most rare earth names, but recently it's benefited from rising NdPr prices. Looking across the past 3 months, the stock has pushed into the high $60 range before pulling back into the high 50s. So you're seeing momentum, but also the kind of swings typical in commodities tied to geopolitics and industrial demand.
So why is neodymium so important, specifically for AI and EVs?
Well, neodymium is critical because it's used to create high-strength permanent magnets. And those magnets are what make electric motors smaller, lighter, and more efficient. In EVs, that means better range and performance. In wind turbines, it means stronger generators. And in AI data centers, rare earth magnets are used in advanced cooling systems and power infrastructure. So as AI server build-outs accelerate and EV adoption scales globally, demand for these magnets, and by extension neodymium, rises in tandem.
Well, I'm plugged in. What should investors watch out for going forward?
Two things, John: pricing and geopolitics. If NdPr prices remain elevated, MP benefits directly, but analysts are already warning that the rally could correct if Chinese supply loosens. Second factor is strategic partnerships. MP recently announced a joint venture tied to US-Saudi cooperation on rare earth refining, which is aimed at diversifying global supply chains. That's not just operational growth, that's geopolitical positioning. So for investors, MP is effectively a strategic asset in the West's effort to reduce reliance on China for critical minerals. But John, I believe you have something to say about the other side of the equation, gallium.
You got that right, Ricky. A major operation involving gallium mining is Lake Resources Ltd, doing business as Lake Energy, LITM, on the NASDAQ, market cap of just over 50 million US.
So what's the deal with gallium, John?
Well, it's not as fun to say, but gallium is just as central to powering semiconductors, EVs, and AI data centers, with countries scrambling to secure supply chains as demand surges. China, they control nearly 99% of global gallium supply. That's according to U.S. Geological Survey data, and the U.S. imports 100% of its gallium. So that makes Lake Resources operations in Ontario, out by the Thunder Bay area, especially valuable.
And what has the company unearthed over there?
Well, just over a year ago, the Lake team reported elevated gallium values at its Mound Lake property in northwestern Ontario. The company has yet to go into production on its gallium resource, but said it will accelerate its exploration of the Ontario Gallium project while, continuing to prioritize and develop its lithium and uranium projects out there.
But how likely is Lake onto something here?
Well, these are just grab samples, not a formal resource estimate. But the grades, 50 to 110 parts per million, are well above average and even exceed typical fertile granite levels, around 90 parts per million. So while the grades are promising and the project does align with geopolitical demand for North American gallium right now, it is still speculative, and we'll have to wait for drilling and resource estimates to know for sure.
So what's Snow Lake's stock history like, John?
Highs and lows. The big picture is since this time last year, LITM stock has lost more than 50% of its value, possible buying opportunity, but it has been pushing higher since a dip in November and has risen just over 20% since then. When it was about $2.50 US, it has bounced from that to as high as $4 US a share since January.
You can find links to the articles from today's episode in the show notes and more investing insights on stockhouse.com.
And you can find the 5-Minute Investor on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stockhouse, or wherever finer podcasts are found. This podcast is produced in partnership with MP Materials Corporation and Snow Lake Resources Ltd. and is intended for informational purposes only. For full disclaimer information, visit themarketonline.ca/disclaimer.